What's going on, guys? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys another live DFS show. Again, if you don't end up catching this live, you can always rewatch it. There's plenty of time to watch it from 5 to 7. So I try to make this about 20 minutes, and we can just move on with our lives. There's a ton of games tonight. We have almost every team playing, and there's a ton of value to come by tonight. So it's definitely worth spending up on some pitchers. If you haven't already, go to my site. I did a little article on the pitching tonight. It just gives you who I like in cash games, and then maybe some flyers you might want to spend down on, or one flyer I mentioned on a GPP team. But tonight, you got to spend up on Severino. That's the guy I really focused my article on. DeGrom has a little bit of rain issues. He's not really worth risking in that with that weather over at Citi Field tonight. So I don't think it's worth it. Even if there was good weather, I'd prefer Severino over anyone tonight. And with the value we have with the bats tonight, there's just no reason to not spend up on a pitcher like Severino tonight in cash games. I certainly like him in GPPs as well. There's only one or two guys you could spend down on, but just read that article and all your pitching questions should be answered. But like I said, tonight there's a ton of value for the bats. There's a lot of cheap players that are in really good spots tonight. Obviously going by the FanDuel salary. I know DraftKings does a little bit different of a salary. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's not. But on FanDuel tonight, there's a ton of value out there. There's a ton of guys who don't normally bat in good spots that are batting in good spots tonight. So we'll go right through the list tonight and give you guys some really good names to look at for tonight. This Minnesota at Toronto game is probably one of the best games to stack tonight. Vegas has this game at I think a 9 over under. Let me get to the top here. 9.5 over under this Twins Blue Jays game. You have the Blue Jays a minus 130 favorites. It's basically a pick 'em. You have Mejia, the lefty, for the Twins pitching, and then Luis Santos, the righty, for the Blue Jays. Both of these pitchers are really no-name guys. They could give it up at any moment, and for that reason, you want to target this game. On the Blue Jays side of things, there's some really good guys at some cheap prices here. One of them being Lourdes Gurriel, 2,500. He's in a really good spot tonight, batting second. He's got that lefty-righty matchup. Solarte's always in a good spot for a guy under 3K. He's been one of their best hitters all year. I had him yesterday, and he had a walk-off homer, so that was huge. 2,700 is a really cheap price for him. No one at short. For the outfield, I love Randall Grichuk. He's in that leadoff spot tonight, coming off of a homer last night. Lefty-righty matchup. He's in an absolute awesome spot. Definitely a cash game play. I don't mind Hernandez. He's a little pricey. There's better ways to go in this game if you are stacking this game for a GPP team. I don't mind Hernandez as part of that Blue Jay stack. As far as the Twins go, you could look at Logan Morrison, righty-lefty matchup. He's got that power upside. Definitely a GPP play, not a cash play. Joe Mauer is a good play leading off. His price has gone up a little bit, though, $3,000. I certainly don't mind Joe Mauer either. But the Blue Jays are definitely the more appealing stack in this game due to their prices. Escobar is, 3,400. That's nothing out of the ordinary for him. Polanco batting 6, 32, not really worth it there. So to come away from this game, the cash plays are definitely Randall Grichuk, Gurriel, and Solarte for sure. Those are the three Blue Jays I'm really looking at in this game to target in cash games. For St. Louis at Cincinnati, this is also another really good game to stack for the bats. And the reason why I skipped Boston and Baltimore and the Dodgers and Phillies games, those are the two games that have some weather issues tonight. So there's really no reason to risk yourself in picking any guys in that game. That Red Sox-Orioles game is kind of a wash for me anyways, even if there was good weather. And then the Dodgers and Phillies is kind of a weird game as well. You got Strickland against Eflin. Both of those pitchers can go off, but they're not reliable enough to pick on with rain issues. So those two games, I wouldn't really target anyone in those games. Back to St. Louis at Cincinnati. You got Castillo for the Reds going, and then Ponce de Leon, I think that's how you say it, for the Cardinals going. He's a righty. This game has a high total as well. You have, let's see. Let's go down. Where is this game? I think the total was 9 as well. 9.5. You have the Reds as a favorite at -120, but this is just like the Blue Jays and Twins game. It's basically a pick'em, 9.5 over. Definitely going to have some runs in this game. It's just a matter of where you find the value. Jose Martinez, a pretty good spot at 3,100. Yadier Molina, 2,900, not a bad spot. Again, if you're going with a guy like Severino or Kluber tonight, you're going to have to look at the more cheaper guys. Joey Votto's obviously a good play, but 3,800 is a lot. So I don't really like him too much. He's not that great. He's not that great of a value tonight at all. Matt Carpenter, he's been the hottest hitter in baseball this year. 4,200. If you're looking to spend up on a stud, he's definitely a guy you want to pick because he just is seeing the ball so well right now. If you look at his game log, it's actually ridiculous. He's a guy who will be probably low owned tonight just because he's so expensive. So for a tournament play, he's definitely a fair play. As far as anyone else goes in this game, I'm not really looking at anyone. Ozuna's not a bad play, batting cleanup, 2,700. I don't mind him at all. He could be a guy that goes double dong in this game for sure, just because Luis Castillo can really give it up. He's got that 5.5 ERA, and Ozuna's just in too good of a batting spot tonight at 2,700. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. I've mentioned in the article Corey Kluber. He's a pretty good GPP play tonight. He should be on the lower owned side of things just because he hasn't been that great lately. But he is a guy with crazy upside for strikeouts. I don't mind him at all. Definitely not targeting Pirates hitters. Trevor Williams can be decent at times. For the Indians, I do like Yonder Alonso at 3,200. He's a guy you could definitely play. He's batting 5th tonight with that lefty-righty matchup. I think, Yandy Diaz is batting cleanup for the Indians tonight. 2,900, not a bad tournament play there either. As far as anyone else in this game, I'm kind of just skipping over it. Everyone's pretty fairly priced, so I'm not really looking at, guys like Brantley or Lindor or Jose Ramirez. They're just too expensive if I'm going with Severino in my lineups tonight. San Diego at the Mets. Like I said, there's some little bit of rain issues here tonight, so it makes picking DeGrom a little risky. If things clear up and things look better in the next hour or so, I do love DeGrom against the Padres tonight. He's a big favorite. This game has a low total, and for that reason, I'm not really looking at any bats in this game. Definitely no Padres. And then even Joey Lucchesi can be pretty good at times, and the Mets aren't really that good enough of a team for me to even target them, especially on a slate like tonight where there's so much value out there in guys in much better matchups. Severino, like I said, in this game, he's the guy you want in Tampa Bay. Low total. The Rays aren't a good hitting team. You want Luis Severino tonight in your cash games and a bulk of your tournament teams for sure. I'm not really looking to pick at any Yankees bats just because they're too expensive. Tampa Bay is a good pitcher's ballpark, so there's no need to pick any bats in this game either. For Atlanta at Miami, I don't mind Sean Newcomb. He's a guy that can really light it up in certain spots. He's at Miami, not a bad pitcher's ballpark. Even Urena can be pretty good at times. Not looking at any bats in this game either. Just trying to get to the more juicy games for the value here. Patrick Corbin, he can be good. He can be good too. There's really no Cubs in this game that I'm really looking to pick. Maybe Contreras, that lefty-righty matchup if you want a GPP guy, but even 3,000 is a little expensive for him. But like I said, the Cubs are so fairly priced. There's really no reason to pick any of them. This game has, let's see, this game has a 9 total. It's basically a pick 'em. Luke Farrell, I don't know how much he's played this year, to be honest. I don't think he's pitched much. Let's see. Diamondbacks should be in a pretty good spot against him, but yeah, I think he's only come out of the bullpen this year, so it looks like the Cubs are going to be coming out of their bullpen a lot here. I don't see Farrell going more than a few innings here, so the Diamondbacks can make for a pretty good team to stack in this game. 3,800, a little pricey for Pollock. Peralta batting third, 35. That's not terrible. I don't mind that. John Jay's definitely in a great spot, batting leadoff, 2,600. You can go with a couple of Arizona guys, like I mentioned. Jake Lamb, 3,100, a pretty good play. If the Cubs are going to be going out of their bullpen a bunch this game, expect the Diamondbacks to have some chances to score some runs. Goldschmidt, 3,900, a little pricey for me. We're going to move right into my favorite game of the night here, Oakland at Texas. This game has a crazy total of 10.5. You got Cole Hamels against Brett Anderson. I absolutely love the Rangers in this game. Brett Anderson, the lefty, he's just not. There's my voice. He's just not a good pitcher. I like the Rangers a bunch. There's some really good value here, guys. Adrian Beltre, an absolute stud of a play tonight, batting cleanup with that lefty-righty matchup. 2,500. I love Beltre tonight. I also love Ryan Rua. He's a great punt play. He's 2,000. He's as cheap as it gets over on FanDuel. Batting sixth. He's a guy that can display some really good power against lefties. The player comparison I have with him is what's his face? The guy on the Indians. Let me double check. He only hits against lefties, and he has a similar average, but he's a guy who has some good power. Brandon Guyer. Ryan Rua is basically the same exact player as Brandon Guyer. But again, in this spot tonight, I don't mind him as a punt play. He can allow you to spend up on some other bats. I like him a lot. Shin-Soo Choo, he's been known to actually hit lefties pretty well. 3,200 isn't a bad spot here if you want to game stack this. I don't know why Odor is batting second tonight with the tough lefty-lefty matchup, but I guess if you were to stack 4 Rangers here, I do like Odor as well, just because they're going to be in a spot where they're going to score a lot of runs, so Odor makes for a pretty good play as well. Andrus, 3,400, he's in a good spot too, just a little pricey for me. But yeah, the Rangers are just in a great spot tonight. You want to try to get as much exposure as possible to them. Washington at Milwaukee. This game isn't that great either. Gio against Chacin. Both of these guys can be pretty good. When I say this game isn't that great, I'm talking about cash games. Just because that's the best thing to do. For GBPs, you can really take flyers on anyone. You can pick whoever you want. I like to just mention cash game plays because those are the guys that are more consistent, and those are the guys you want to really look towards to on a nightly basis. I'm not really looking to pick from this game at all tonight. But right behind Oakland at Texas, this Detroit-Kansas City game is another great cash game, stack game here. These guys are all in good spots. Merrifield, lefty-righty matchup leading off tonight. He should do well. I certainly, let's see, hold on a sec. I definitely like this game for hitters here. You got Liriano against Philmeyer. Both of these pitchers are not good pitchers at all. This is a game you definitely want to focus on the bats. This game is at a 10.5 total. So just like the Rangers and Athletics game, it's actually wow. It's actually the same exact spread and points here. Minus 112, minus 108, minus 112, minus 108, and you got the 10.5 total. So Vegas likes both of these games tonight as the best games to pick from, and rightly so. These pitchers are bad, and these hitters are in awesome spots. Another good play is Ronnie Rodriguez. He's just another good punt play. 2,000 batting second, can't go wrong there. Let's see. Bonifacio's in a good spot. The righty-lefty matchup, batting cleanup tonight. Certainly opens up my eyes. Could be a good cash game play. 2,800. Even Rosell Herrera, 2,100, another good play. Kansas City's a really good team to stack tonight. Sal Perez is also in a good spot tonight. Only 2,900, batting third. We all know Perez can have a big game at any moment, and against Liriano tonight, definitely don't mind it. I also don't mind Hunter Dozier, minimum price here tonight, guys. Batting fifth. He's in a good spot as well. So a Royal stack tonight is pretty good. You definitely want to look towards that. Even Detroit's in a good spot. Victor Martinez, 2,200. If you look at these prices, guys, for the total here, it's too tough to pass up on. Candelario's a good player. He's batting cleanup tonight, I think. I remember when I was doing the research. Yeah, he's batting cleanup. He homered yesterday as well. Castellanos is also a nice play, 3,100. There's not a player over 3,200 on this entire slate except for Whit Merrifield. So it's like, how can you fade this game at all? It's a game that you want to pick cash game players, and they're going to be high owned, but it's just the way to go tonight. Look towards this game and the Rangers and Athletics game as your main primary points of interest for your bats tonight, definitely. And then this last game, you got the White Sox at Angels. The Angels are expected to score a bunch of runs tonight against Giolito. I don't think their lineup's out yet, just because they're the 10 o'clock game tonight. Let's see. Yeah, it's not. But with Giolito being a right-handed pitcher, I do expect Cole Calhoun to probably be leading off tonight because he's a lefty. And if he is, he makes for a great play as a cash game play. 2,500, he's a guy that can always have a big game. He's a pretty decent player. He's a good low-salary player from this game. And then obviously Mike Trout, 4,500 isn't a bad price for him. He's a guy that can easily be over 5,000. And in a spot tonight against Giolito, where the Angels are expected to score a bunch of runs, I don't mind him at all. 4,500, like I said, is definitely a cheap price for him. Giolito has a 6.18 ERA, which is sky high. The Angels are a sneaky GPP stack tonight, in my opinion. Justin Upton, also pretty cheap, 3,400. If Ohtani is playing, you got that lefty-righty matchup, 2,900. That's another good play. There's good plays across the board here for the Angels. They're all fairly priced. Simmons, 2,900. He's been having a great year. Don't mind him. So don't rule this late game out, guys. The Angels are in an awesome spot. I'm not really looking to pick any White Sox guys in this game. There's just better ways to go. But the Angels are a pretty good spot tonight. So if you have any questions, just toss it in the chat. I think the chat is pretty dry as of right now, which is fine. But I just want to mention to you guys that I do have the pitching article, like I said earlier. And if you're looking for lineups, just go over to my site. It runs through Guru Credits, which is pretty cool. It makes things a lot easier than other websites. Very easy to navigate and run through. I also do the new MLB quick pick on FanDuel as well. That makes things a little more interesting. You can pick guys. There's no salary. They just have the tiers, and you can pick a pretty stud lineup. It makes for some good entertainment because you're picking some really good names in that lineup. So give that a look over on FanDuel. I think it's just a format you want to look at. But that basically sums it up for tonight's slate, guys. You want to look at the Rangers and Athletics game, and you want to look at the Twins and or not the Twins, the Tigers and Royals. But that Twins and Blue Jays game is also a really good game to stack as well. Those are definitely the cash game stacks of the night, and you definitely want to go with Severino, and then Kluber's a pretty good GPP play as well tonight. The quick pick, if you don't know about it, is under the MLB tab here. It's right here. It's pretty cool. They don't have many contests for it now, but it'll get going sooner rather than later. So until next time, guys, I'm the FT Guru, and I'm signing off.